Hello everyone and welcome. And as we begin, get ready for meditation, I would like to mention, like yesterday I talked about openness, being open to whatever is happening in such a way that there's like lots of room for experience. You can just have experiences, thoughts, feelings, sounds, occurrences around us when we meditate don't have to stick anywhere. We don't have to pick them up. We don't have to start thinking about them. We don't have to react. There can be kind of an openness, like an open window. Just allow things to pass through. And it's related to other kinds of teachings from meditation, of meditation being a radical acceptance of the present moment, being kind of thoroughly receptive to experience. And that class, that category or kind of side of meditation, as important as it is, it's good to have it balanced with another side. And that is, and the two can go together, they don't have to be separate, but as a way of talking. And that is the side of being upright, the side of not collapsing. We don't... Metaphorically, we're sitting upright, and we're sitting uncollapsed. We're not finding difficult things that we're experiencing, thinking about, remembering, feeling, and just kind of bending over and putting our hand on our forehead and feeling sorry for ourselves, or we're not giving up on ourselves or giving up our ability to be grounded, firm, stable by the moment. So, on one hand, we're quite open to our experience, which might seem a little bit like we're just available to be victims of challenges. But the other side of it is we're being undefeated. We are not cowering, we're not giving up. We're not collapsing. We're not giving in to the inner forces that might be pushing us, driving us to run away or give up or collapse or feel sorry for ourselves or get involved in angry thoughts of revenge, or we're not giving up our presence and stability here because of some fantastically wonderful, pleasurable fantasy that we get pulled into. So this ability to be grounded and upright, grounded and just here in a strong way, goes together with this openness. And the uprightness gives a kind of strength and grounding and kind of a freedom that adds to the freedom of just being open and unaffected by what happens. Everything just passes right through in a certain way. And that combination then is certainly a preparation for what might come, the healthy things that might come. And one of those healthy things is our capacity for compassion and for love. So this is not an aloofness or a pulling away. The uprightness means we're right here for it, for experience. There's no question that we're really here. We're not avoiding anything. So, to assume a meditation posture, and closing the eyes. And if you are going to call on your inner strength to assume a posture that's upright, literally or metaphorically, that feels like a strong stance of being really here. A strength that gives emphasis on yes, here I am. So it might be some way that the chest is not collapsed, pulled in. Might be some way that the head, the position of the head and the neck, where the back of the back of the head gets pulled up towards the ceiling, or there's a little bit of space formed between the last vertebrae of the spine and the skull. And then you might sway back and forth a bit, partly to feel the shifting pressure or weight of your legs, your feet, your bottom, and whatever is holding you up. And then bring that sway to stillness and feel definitively the way that the weight of your body is supported, received by the chair, your cushion, the floor, the bed. And finding within some place where personal strength resides. Maybe it's a small little marble-sized place, somewhere in the torso or in the hands or the feet. Anywhere where and with reference to that strength, that place of strength, taking some gently deeper breaths, almost as an expression of your inner strength. Exhaling, relaxing, as a definitive way of settling into here, taking your place. This is your place to be. Letting your breathing return to normal. And scanning through your body, both to relax where there might be tension, and release any place where we're contracted. Breathing in and breathing out. As you breathe in, as your lungs fill and your diaphragm pushes down, let that be a clear establishment of stability, uprightness, strength. Each inhale is an expression of taking your place here. Each exhale is a relaxing and softening, opening, non-resistance in the exhale. And gently as you breathe, without resisting anything, and without collapsing or giving up or giving in, Really here, now, in the present, breathing. Finding in the breath, in each breath, strength, definitive clarity of being here, just now. into your present moment experience with the support of inner steadiness, stability, a strength of upright embodiment of attention. So then as we come to the end of this sitting, to gently, maybe even lovingly, feel yourself rooted here and now in your body, rising out of whatever supports the weight of your body. Feeling some inner stability, inner strength. And maybe for a couple of minutes here, embodying that by sitting a little bit straighter, a little bit more a posture of definitively being here. And when you are here in a strong, full way, upright, imagine that your love, your kindness, your compassion is supported by that strength, supported by that uprightness. Maybe like an antenna which is well positioned to send out a signal far and wide. Where you send out your care for the world, your care of others, whatever goodwill, well-wishing, love that you have for the circles of people around you, those who are close in that you know the best, friends, neighbors, outward in circles into your community and communities, out into the world. May our inner strength, may our ability to be upright and not collapse, not give up, not give in, but to really be here fully present. May it be a means through which our care and love for the world can flow. May we be an antenna that broadcasts well and far kindness and friendliness, respect for others, care for others, appreciation of others. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. And may all beings be free of suffering. And may we, with our inner strength and stability, be a caring companion for others moving through this life. May all beings be happy. Thank you. Hello and welcome to our third talk on attunement. And the topic of attunement is the practice of attunement is considered here one of the building blocks for compassion. To have a rush to be compassionate before we've put in place the building blocks for it can easily lead to compassion being misguided and compassionate to be even detrimental for those who are being compassionate. And these days, it's been for a while now to talk about compassion fatigue, compassion overwhelm. And it seems strange that anyone would ever be exhausted or overwhelmed by compassion. Compassion is, to be overwhelmed or fatigued by compassion would be like saying that I don't know, the ocean is tired of being wet. They the warm day is exhausted from being warm. That compassion by itself is not tiring, is not exhausting. It's not. Compassion by itself does not make us victims, does not hurt us even. What's difficult is when compassion is mixed in with all kinds of other attitudes and tensions and attachments and things. And but it's considered to be part of compassion, so people don't see the difference. But if we have these building blocks in place to be compassionate, then compassion can flow through us in a way that's even nourishing for us, much more beneficial for others, without the exhaustion. So one of these qualities is attunement, which this week I'm offering 5 different aspects of attunement. And today, with the letter U in the acronym TOUCH, is upright. That when we encounter suffering, it's an occasion to make sure that we establish an uprightness. And what that means is we find our place of strength. And maybe it's an unfortunate term in the United States these days for how it's been used. But if we can kind of do away with some of the most recent kind of ways discussed in the news, kind of like stand our ground, stand in our place, not to attack anyone, not to run away from anyone, but just really, own our place where we are, stand upright, firm, strong, not to be domineering, not to be aloof or distant, but in order to, so the openness we have can be supported by strength. And so this uprightness for me implies non-collapse, not giving up, not giving in. Sometimes when they're suffering, people want us to kind of participate in their suffering on their terms, and do the things that they want or they think is important to do. And it's not really clear that that's always the case, should be necessary, the best thing to do. And so it's kind of like taking a sacred pause to take time to be open, present, see the situation more fully, and establish ourselves in the presence of this in a stable, relaxed, open way. And it's a way that our strength, inner strength, can kind of, we can be embodied with our strength. And the proposal I like to make is that when we are strong, our love is more valuable. When we are really standing upright, metaphorically, really kind of embodied and present in a clear way, that when we love someone, when we care for them, when we're kind, when we're friendly, it has more resonance, it's more is communicated through it. When we're open and have a kind of openness with that stand our ground, we're not asserting ourselves, we're not dominating over people, we're not rushing to kind of take care of them, but we are expressing care. Caring for and caring can be 2 different things. Caring for is what we do. Caring is an attitude. And that attitude has more space. It can be bigger when we're really open and there's a kind of inner largeness and space and awareness. And when there's a stability and uprightness, a strength, a embodiment that's really here for the situation, then people notice more, feel it more, there more. If we are kind of, sitting quietly to not disturb anyone in the corner of the room, kind of making ourselves a little bit small, and we're sitting there kind of saying, may you be happy, may you be peaceful. That might be nice to do that, but it doesn't have the same level of impact, I think, that sitting up in the same chair or pulling the chair away from the corner so we're there clearly in the room together with people. And then we have an attitude of kindness. Then it's noticed, then it's felt. It has more texture, it has more aliveness, it has more there. And so uprightness. So the first of these 5 qualities with the acronym TOUCH is to talk with people. Find out what's going on. Think about it. That's tomorrow. Think about it. Have some thinking, have some reflection. What's going on here? How am I? And how am I receiving this? How am I present for this? What's the circumstances? What's the context for this suffering that I'm in touch with or that I have myself? What's the useful way to be with it? What does it mean to be attuned? How do I come into harmony with it or balance with it? So asking questions is a big part of thinking about it. Having and it's not necessarily asking why something's happening, but thinking about how is it I can be present and attuned. To be open to experience is to increase our capacity to hold it. And rather than fixing things, a lot of Dharma practice is about expanding our capacity to be present for our discomfort, for things that are difficult, for challenging things, without resisting, without collapsing. And when we don't collapse, then we can be upright. And so to think, to be open, to be upright, and then tomorrow you'll see that that's when the C is to communicate, to actually talk to people, talk about what's going on. It's before acting out of the compassion. And so this uprightness where there's non-collapse, a powerful concept that comes from the Buddha in these kinds of situations is to be undefeated, to not be defeated by circumstance, to not sink down into being a victim, but rather arise to the occasion to be strong, arise to the occasion to be free, arise to the occasion to be someone who takes a stance in mindfulness, where mindfulness is the home from which we live in this world, attentive, strong, present. And so to practice now uprightness, not giving in, not giving up, not belittling ourselves, diminishing ourselves, but also not aggrandizing ourselves. A simple, relaxed, really here I am definitively, not needing anything from other people, not asserting myself to other people, not giving in to what other people want automatically, but here I am, be present. So as you practice these things, thinking, being open, being stable and strong, it's often useful to start in areas where it's relatively easy, because it's like building a muscle. If we just go immediately into some of the biggest sufferings that humans can experience, we might not be ready for it. It's kind of like you have to work out a little bit and become familiar with the territory and how to be and build a strength and build confidence in these different steps. So I'd encourage you to see if there's ways, peaceful ways, non-assertive ways, that you can be upright today. So you really can be present and take in the experience, see yourself, see the situation more fully without giving into anything, giving up on anything, without feeling guilt or feeling unimportant. And there's a wonderful place in uprightness of neither feeling the conceit of being important nor feeling the conceit of being unimportant. And if you are upright and present, being neither important nor unimportant, what are you? What is that like? So thank you, and we'll continue tomorrow.